Yeah, so my name is Faleata Ualesi, and my parents are from Samoa and came to New Zealand in the late 60s, mid 60s. Um, my dad is from Vau in Apia, and my mum is from Tulaele, Puipa'a, in Apia as well. I guess being a part of this project has been, I guess, a real opportunity to showcase my artwork. And I'm like let's say I'm not as established as he is, and I haven't been doing art as long as he's been. But this is a real opportunity for me to just to share what I've been doing over the last few years and building up my practice as an artist and my skills. And yeah, I really being a part of this project was when I was asked, there was no thinking, there was no two ways about it. It was a definite yes straight away. Being firstly having come from Ōtara and growing up with lots of guys who played for the Scorpions and now that I play for the Masters, for one of the Masters teams, the Silverbacks, this it was definitely to be a part of this and to, I guess, put my little stamp on it was a given. It was a no brainer, and so it's been really good to meet Lese and meet the other guys who are part of this team as well. Guys who are filming me and interviewing me now. It's we're all part of this team, this collective, and it's a great opportunity doing this, what I'm going to be doing, my little part in it, but also to be a part of the fresh the exhibition too. All of us are contributing to that as well, kind of alongside of what's happening here in the multi-complex. Yeah, I think I'm just really grateful that they've kind of just given me free reign, eh? So they've allowed me to just whatever I want to do in the space. They've allowed me to just decide, and I think that's kind of a real trust thing, like with Willie, as the general manager of the facility. And the Ōtara Scorpions committee, they've just allowed us to, or allowed me in this case, because, yeah, just with my space, just being able to choose what I want to do. And so I guess for me, that's, again, I say an opportunity because I get to show, I've got 3 walls, so this large wall and then a smaller wall around the corner and then a smaller wall connecting that one. It actually gives me a chance to showcase 3 different kind of aspects of my style. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking to do. I guess the smaller wall over there, I'm gonna layer like a spray paint, a color base, and then I'll do black patterns over the top. So that's kind of what I've done in the past. It's kind of going back a little bit, but that's how I did the electrical boxes and done in that style. I think because it's kind of quite expressive with the colors, and then it's quite a simple thing to then draw out your patterns over the top. With the wall over there, which is a little bit longer than that shorter wall, I'm going to paint it black and then do white, some white circular patterns that I've been doing for a little bit. So not the linear stuff that I usually do. So that's just showing another aspect of what I've been kind of working on and developing here. So more like it's kind of a space and a universe, kind of a Pacific universe. My concept, my interpretation of the Pacific universe, like stars and different things out there, yeah. But my interpretation of it. And then this one is more like the style that I've been working on more recently. So, which is, I'll grid it up, the black outline goes up first, and then I color in between. I add the layered colors goes in between the lines. So This on this scale, yeah, could take a while, but yeah. So I use acrylic markers. So yeah, so that style. So it's kind of like yeah. I use acrylic markers on a smaller scale, and on the electrical box I use acrylics. But on this side, we'll see how it goes because it may change, but that's the plan. So that's the plan of having three different walls. Yeah, I thought about it and I thought I didn't want to like the continuity. I didn't really think to continue the same thing over the whole three walls. I thought I'll have something different on each wall, but connected by there'll be stylistic connections through the motifs and all that. Will be the main connection, I guess. I've loved art since I was very young. So even in primary school, I can think back to doing things in class where we had a competition and we had to copy. There was a storybook we were reading, and it was like a little competition. Everyone got to draw something, and I knew then that I was good at copying. I could copy things quite easily. Yeah. So and then as the years go on, I went to at high school. I did art right throughout, but it was like I was at school when I think like whatuwhia was just starting, and so in school they didn't really recognise, in our school they didn't really recognise Pacific art. It was just emerging, that whole the what would you call it, like the modern era of Pacific art from like the late 80s, and yeah, so I think I went off to university, and I love tatau patterns and Pacific Island motifs and that you see, that a lot of what whatuwhia uses, but also just from tapa designs, from tatau designs. And so I would sketch and doodle all the time. Any free time, I'll be sketching and doodling stuff. And so I guess it was maybe 2018, because my earlier stuff that I've got out is dated to 2018. That's when I kind of started kind of in the style that I'm working at now. And so I was incorporating Pacific Island motifs, but I was putting my own kind of twist to it. So I call it kind of a modern contemporary twist on traditional Pacific Island motifs, Samoan tatau patterns and siapo patterns. And often it has an optical kind of illusion effect as well. So it's the use of lines and curves and the different tones. So I started out just monochromatic, so all black and white. And so, the thickness of lines, the variation of that is what makes things stand out or drop back in terms of those different tones. And then the use of different lines to kind of accentuate movement. Yeah, so I got kind of stuck in the grids, and then I thought, how can I kind of try and break out of the boxes? And so I did some things with curves and the use of the use of thickness of lines and the thinness of lines. It kind of made it look like it was moving and almost pulsing, so that whole optical illusion effect came on. And I guess that kind of came on by just developing what I was doing and then seeing something I kind of liked and then building on it. And so I think the key to any artist is developing, not getting stuck in one technique, but then broadening your skill set to and to kind of step out of your comfort zone and try something a little bit different. So I think that's what my three pieces will show, is like a steady development through my work and what I've been doing. And so I guess this recent lockdown with the Delta variant lockdown, what will go on this wall is what I developed over that time. Yeah, so I guess the height is going to be a challenge. So we'll see how that goes. But I think in terms of just scaling it up, so from what I do on a canvas that's maybe 2 meters by a meter, I might do three central patterns on that. So scaling that up to here, to that, maybe I'll have, thinking of the grids and how many rows it's going to be. I think working that out and thinking of the scale of the size of it and having the same effect that it would have when it's at that size, So that's it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge, I'm not worried about it. I think I think having, it's like I've done things at that stage. I've done things a little bit bigger, maybe like a 3 meters by half meter. So this is like a natural kind of step up, but there's a bit of problem solving that has to go with it, and that's a good challenge. I like it because it adds to my skill set in terms of that, and ticks off another thing. I always wanted to do a mural, a larger size mural. So this is kind of building my skill set to be able to do this. And this is basically like having a wall outside. Like if I did a wall outside, it'd basically be these dimensions, So that's a real plus for me. Is doing this size means that I can then say, I've done a mural of this large, and that means I will be able to do one outside, or if somebody wants a mural of that size, I can say, I've done it. Well, I hope they like it. The first thing, they don't say, "Oh man, this is rubbish." But I guess I haven't really thought of that. But I guess in terms of the continuum, I think of where I've come from. So my father passed away a couple of years ago, and my father was an artist who loved to draw and do Pacific Island crafts and stuff, and he could do all that. So I knew that runs in my blood. And I remember my dad's older brother came and stayed with us when I was young, and he had an axe, and he made a kāngo, like he paru the koko in it, and he made like spoons and stuff out of wood. So I know that's the rich history that I come from, and all my brothers are good at drawing as well. So it's that bloodline comes through, and so I guess if I carry that on, then I guess it's something to leave for my daughter is following that pathway too, is because she's seen dad do so much art, and she does art, and it's like it's kind of that rich inheritance she that I got from my dad and my brothers got from him, is now I'm passing on to my daughter. And I guess hopefully I think if anything, I want future generations to see that art is a worthy thing to pursue. Maybe previous generations it was thought of as a waste, not a career path to choose, because it doesn't pay the bills. But I guess, and I guess in a sense, it is hard to be a full-time artist and to pay the bills. But I guess if you think of the NRL, it's hard to make the NRL too. but it doesn't mean you stop playing league or, you know, you stop playing the sport. And I guess that's the thing is that art is, in itself, it's a worthy pursuit because it brings joy and happiness to people. People see it and it can create calm and peace and can bring happiness to people. And personally, for me, it brings me a real joy and a sense of peace, which is why I do it. It's part of the reason why I do art, is that I get so much joy out of creating and seeing what I can create, and how that varies all the time, and that people will actually want something that I've created is kind of a you know, it's a nice I guess affirmation of the work that I do, that I create it because I like it, and then other people see and like it, and so that's kind of, you know, I think, oh yeah. So I think that's my formula now, is I create it because I like it, and then generally, you know, there are people out there that like it too. So I try not to do what other people are doing and try not to follow trends or fads or stuff. But yeah, I try and have my own distinctive style, and and I think I do. I think when people see my work anywhere, they know, oh yeah, that looks like one of Faleata's pieces, or, you know. And so that's the I didn't set out that way. It's just the way that it's developed, and when I do the patterns, yeah, I kind of do it my way, and it's come across it.